Good morning, everyone. It's after midnight. Well, I not too long got home, and I guess you could say I'm a night owl because I have a tendency to come on late at night. All right, so today I just want to briefly talk about imagery in poetry. So, imagery in poetry basically, um, you can use, you usually come across it with similes and metaphors, personification, and some other literary devices because I mentioned imagery before, right? So literally based on the words used, it impacts your senses, touch, taste, smell, and oh my goodness, this is sound and sight. Okay, because I had to write down the notes because I have a tendency not to always remember stuff, so I write notes for myself because I want to make sure that I tell you what I want to tell you. And sometimes I even forget to tell you stuff that I want to tell you. All right. So some of the other literary devices that I've used prior, the examples that is, you can literally actually get images from my written words. So that's imagery. And remember again, there are times when the literary devices kind of interact with each other. And I am still looking for that word that I learned in math that expresses what it is I'm trying to tell you. If anybody out there remember it, could you please tell me? Because for the life of me, I cannot remember what it is. It's like two circles and they're meeting in the middle. Oh my God, it's at the tip of my tongue. Okay, I'm gonna remember it one day soon, or maybe somebody out there could remind me what it is. Because sometimes, my mind just goes blank. All right, I'm not gonna lie to you. And my son would be laughing at me right now. All right, so imagery, it's used, you use it in poetry, you could use it in novels and other forms of written material, okay? And what it does is it creates kind of like a strong picture in your mind. So you can actually experience, these five senses that I just mentioned. And I wrote some examples. I just wrote the examples, okay? Um, the liquid mist running down her nose looks like sweat. All right. So, based on the words I've used, you could actually imagine seeing her with the liquid mist running down her nose, looking like sweat. And here's another one I wrote. And yeah, anyway, I don't want to digress again. I was about to say something else, but let me stay on task because I don't really intend to stay here long. I'm not a long-winded person. I know that there are people who, they could be talking for hours. Maybe one day I'll be talking to you for hours, like like an hour or two. But not right now. I'm still getting my feet wet with this whole YouTube situation. And, I must confess, I'm kind of enjoying it because I was kind of like, kind of uncomfortable even coming on here. You know, I'm I was feeling kind of anxious because no one wants to look dumb, right? You don't want to like, not make a good impression. So here I am. Anyway, here's another one I wrote. After running into the blue wall, Sally was left with a purple bruise on her face. Okay. You don't want to run into a brick wall or any wall. And sometimes people run into a wall who's their husband, right? You certainly don't want to run into that wall. But sometimes my sense of humor isn't like maybe appropriate. Okay, guys. So forgive me. But I've experienced situations in my past where I was like abused. I don't really want to get into it right now. So being abused isn't funny. But maybe I'll talk about it some other time. And I actually almost lost my life, but the abuse saved my life. But I don't want to get into that now. Yesterday was enough talking about losing my daughter. And I forgot to mention also that that disease that I contracted, it kind of like some people, I was very blessed and fortunate to come out of it the way I did. It did impact like my memory because I didn't really plan to go down this road, but there are people that I have forgotten, literally forgotten. I could literally walk past people on the streets and they know me, but I don't remember them. Like from when I was a child, when I was much younger. And even now, like, I could literally walk past people that I knew in the past and not realize that I know this person. And some people actually think I'm playing games, but I'm not. Literally. Some people, they have literally been wiped out of my memory. Because I remember like years ago when I went home to Trinidad. Oh, I really didn't plan to go here. But I remember years ago when I went home to Trinidad, right? Or was it over here in the US? Well, anyway, I bumped into someone. I think it was Trinidad. Someone in the streets. They said hi to me or I'm a little hazy about it all. But I kept on walking and I think as I kept walking, I realized the person said something to me. And I think the person must have thought that I was making style on him or her, but I was not. I literally could not remember that person. So I find myself like, and I think it has something to do with that disease that I had, the one that took my daughter's life. Because some people come out of that disease paralyzed. I've seen people in wheelchairs, people without limbs, like their legs were cut off, people been paralyzed and different things. But for me, it affected, my memory. And honestly, I think even nowadays I have to like really study a person in order to remember them. Otherwise, I could literally walk by people and not realize that this is someone I know. It's kind of tricky. I don't know if I'm articulating it properly, but I really think, but you know what? I really prefer to have this than what I've seen happen to other people and I've seen people on television doing commercials without legs. They can't walk in different situations, different handicaps. So I consider myself to be really and truly blessed that it didn't happen for me that way. And as a matter of fact, after I got out from the hospital, guys, I had like severe headaches, and the headaches lasted for a long time. I think eventually I woke up and it was gone, but literally the slightest drop of anything would send my head into an explosion of pain. Like you could drop literally a needle, and I would hear that needle magnified a gazillion times. And by the way, guys, that's a hyperbole. magnified a gazillion times. But that's to say, the slightest sound would send me into to tremendous pain. My head would start pounding and pounding and pounding, and that went on for quite a while. And then one day I stopped experiencing those, you know, sudden explosions of uh, headaches from sounds. And I don't quite recall when it happened, because even though I was having those experiences, I just went along with my life, because I'm not the type who like to dwell on stuff. So I didn't dwell on, oh, I'm having a serious, headache from this situation. I didn't dwell on it. I just kept on with my life, and eventually it went away. And like, I didn't even realize when it went away, because I refused to make that a focal point of my life. But yes, I do remember you could just drop the slightest little thing, and then boom, my head would explode in pain. And then when people would be talking, I would be telling, like, could you talk more quietly, please? Because people's voice, like, oh my God, oh, the pain, the pain, the pain, the pain that I used to undergo. And that was a side effect of the disease that I had. And I consider myself blessed, because I truly am blessed. I am so blessed, guys. I am so blessed, and I thank God. But anyway, I had kind of like forgotten this particular scenario until well, after speaking to you guys about it, I started recalling certain things that happened in my life because of that, because of that disease that almost took my life. Anyway, I have one more example. The sun shone a golden yellow orange on her uplifted oblong face. So these three items that I wrote, if you listen to them closely, you will notice that you can literally visualize what I have written. So that's imagery. And there are different types of imagery, which I'm not going to get into today. I believe there are 7 types of imagery. There's visual imagery, there's auditory imagery, and there are quite a few others, tactile, and they all are in reference to the senses. All right. So I'm going to leave it there for tonight, this morning rather. And I thank you for stopping by. It's a pleasure, and feel free to like, subscribe, and I forgot what they say about the bell. Check the bell or something so you could be notified when I'm on. Something to that effect. And share, 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 share. Because I have, so many things to share with you. And hopefully, a lot of the things that I share with you will be motivational to you to help you in your life's journey. Anyway, that's it for now. I'll see you when I see you. Be blessed.